You know, sometimes it can be quite difficult to decide what game I actually want to play, especially because there are so many different genres to pick from. You got platformers, racing games, shooters, but one genre that I've never really tried getting into before is dating sims. You've made a terrible mistake. Who the hell are you? I'm your conscience. Do I even have one of those? Not anymore, you don't. Shit, that was another hallucination, wasn't it? Anyway. So, for those unaware, there is a game genre known as dating sims, or dating simulations. They're pretty much exactly what you think they are. Games where the main focus is role-playing your way into acquiring a significant other. Most dating sims you'll find have a pretty generic anime theme and can be kinda hard to tell apart from one another. However, there are some out there that do at least try to be a bit more unique. Like this one, Dream Daddy, where instead of generic anime high schoolers, you get to date one of 7 single dads. Or Asago Academy, where your options for romance are any of the members of Normal Boots. Or this one, where Oh dear God, no. I didn't ask for this. Get me out of here. But we're not here to talk about those games. Thank the sweet, merciful Lord. We're here to take a look at what is probably the first weird dating sim to gain any kind of notoriety in the West. Hatoful Boyfriend. What a charming little title screen this game has. I really love its use of pinks and whites. It's so inviting and calming. Oh, and the way that menu is constructed. It works so well, so striking, and did you notice that all the characters were birds? 'Cause they're birds. So yes, this is the infamous bird dating game that you may have heard about from a few years ago. In fact, I'm fairly certain even the game knows how infamous it is, because all I have to do is enter my name and it starts worrying about me. The game begins outside of a school, and we learn that we are in fact not a bird, but instead a human who is merely attending a school for birds. Why exactly are we doing that?
Long story, isn't it?
Oh? Who's this? Why, it's Ryota, your best friend who you've known since they were barely hatched. From an egg. 'Cause they're a fucking bird. Alright, we get it. The characters in this game are birds, and that's fine. I mean, it's not, but we'll just pretend that it is. Let's just get all the basics out of the way first. Hatoful Boyfriend takes place over a period of a few months to about a year, depending on how your game plays out, and revolves around you trying to find love as the only human at a private school for birds. You do this by making decisions on who to spend time with in and out of class, aligning yourself with their own beliefs and interests, and making sure that you buy them the correct beans. Any of that sound mental to you? No? Okay, we'll just keep going then. In what I can only assume was an attempt to help players relate to and identify the birds more easily, whenever you first meet someone new, you see what they actually look like, as well as a humanized version. Except with Oku-san. He's a bird, both times. He's also pretty weird. I like him. The game has multiple branching story paths, with the choices you make affecting the path that you take. The biggest choice, of course, being which bird you wish to romance. To run down a few of your options, you've got Ryota, the fairly standard and safe best friend type. There's Sun, who, as previously discussed, is mental. Nigeki, the shy, quiet bookworm. Sakuya, the upper-class foreign exchange student, his sexually harassing brother. And Mr. Kazuaki, who is your teacher. Yes, one of the unavoidable facts about this game is its country of origin, Japan. Because the game is Japanese, it does feature a lot of content which, as a British person, I obviously didn't understand. Things like specific terminology and certain cultural practices went over my head a few times while playing. However, one thing I did understand was that in Japan, the family name comes first, so despite entering my name as I usually would, the game refers to me as White Lily. Oh, great. Now I sound like an extinct plant. And hang on, what the hell is this? I'm White Lily, a sophomore? What is this weeb garbage? I don't actually speak Japanese, game. I'll be honest, when I first started playing Hatoful Boyfriend, I didn't really take it very seriously. In fact, I kind of found the whole concept of the game's existence a little bit hard to process. This school is Japan's? No, the world's greatest gathering place for gifted birds! What am I fucking playing? Birds who want to study the arts, the sciences, even sports. Sorry, the ridiculousness of this fucking game didn't hit me until now. But once I got about 20 minutes into it, I actually kind of started enjoying myself. The premise, of course, is silly, but the characters were genuinely quite fun to interact with, and to the game's credit, they were all distinct enough that I never really got confused as to who was who. Sure, they all mostly fit within general character archetypes, but that's certainly a lot better than just being bland and uninteresting. On the subject of things that are misleadingly deep, the actual story and, dare I say, lore of the game is surprisingly intriguing, from what I've gathered anyway. While I was playing, I always seemed to get hints that there was something more going on with this school than first lets on. I routinely got fragments of storylines that were never fully completed in any of my playthroughs. On top of that, the game actually does explain why birds can speak, sort of. Characters in the game refer to a blog run by a pigeon called Brian, which they say started back when birds were barely intelligent. They then not so subtly imply that you should check it out. I looked it up, and boy, I can tell you it's weird. It's a blog, like a normal internet blog, but from the perspective of a pigeon. And according to the archive, it's been going for quite some time now. Good lord. Is it ever gonna stop? Fucking hell, it's still going! When will it end? Okay, there we go. Since this blog is referenced as happening before birds were intelligent, that must mean that this game takes place in the future, which it does. According to some light research I did, this game takes place in the year 2188. Bird lore. Another bizarre discovery I made was that, well, I don't think you're a normal human student. Initially, I assumed you played as a fairly generic anime schoolgirl, possibly with some kind of crazy hair colour. But in actuality, I think you're a cave woman. Characters in the game often refer to you as a hunter-gatherer. You yourself make reference to having to catch your own food, and you quite clearly live inside of a cave. So, to reiterate, in this game, you play as a cave-dwelling hunter-gatherer living in the distant future who attends a specialised school for hyper-intelligent birds, with the intention of finding love. This is my medication, right? And that's not all. After doing some more light research about the game, I've gotten the impression that there is a lot more going on, and that playing it with certain settings can reveal the game's more darker aspects. But I don't care about that. I played this game to date a goddamn bird, and I'm gonna do it if it kills me. Which it sometimes does.
Spoilers.
I do have a few issues with the game, however. Every time you replay it, it begins the exact same way, with day one being spent almost entirely on meeting everyone with no actual input from you. And no matter how many times you replay it, this part of the game seemingly never changes. They do have a fast forward button, but it's still a little bit tedious. Even when you do get past day one, I still find that the game doesn't really give me enough choices to make. Like, my character will just say things that perhaps I would not have chosen to say had I been given the choice. Now, I've never actually played a visual novel before this, so I'm not sure if this is normal or not. Either way, it'd be nice if the game gave me a little bit more wiggle room. But in my opinion, the place where this game shines the best is in its many different endings. Being a game with a branching story, it of course features multiple endings, with a lot of them ranging from the absurd to bittersweet and completely fucking emotionally devastating, Nageki.
Spoilers.
But in the end, I was honestly very surprised by this game. I certainly didn't expect it to capture my interest in the way that it did. Yes, it's silly, but it's also very charming, and I think I love it. And you know, I enjoyed it so much, I think I'm actually going to check out some other dating sims. This one looks pretty popular. Doki Doki Literature Club. I mean, that sounds a little bit silly, to be honest. Look, I've played Hatoful Boyfriend. I think I can take anything that this game has to offer. So come on, Doki Doki Literature Club. Hit me with your best shot! Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video on Hatoful Boyfriend. My question of the day is, what is your favourite bird? Look, I have to make this relevant to the game somehow, okay? As for me, whatever Coco Beware's bird was. I like parrots, I guess. Don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and follow me on Twitter @TheTransHeel. I've been MayRey, and I'll see you all next time.